The big sexy pick heading into week 5 is Ole Miss traveling down the road to Tuscaloosa to play the Alabama Crimson Tide. And folks are looking at Bo Wallace, who's having a good season this year. He's already 800 yards or thereabouts in passing and rushing, but more importantly, no turnovers. No throwing interceptions, no fumbling the ball when running, and that was a big issue for Bo last year. Wallace is getting a little chippy, too. He's a little loose with the mouth. I might pull that back a little, Bo, before you get down there at Tuscaloosa. Additionally, this is an Ole Miss team that's better this year than they were last year. Conversely, it's an Alabama team that's not as good this year as last year. I mean, the spread in this game is 17 points. That's a whole lot of respect for the 2012 Alabama Crimson Tide and the 2011 Tide. Ole Miss actually led in that game, if you remember. They were winning 7-6 in the second quarter before a Christian Jones kickoff return for a touchdown put the lead back in Alabama's favor, and then it got sloppy. It was a sloppy game actually all the way around, but Ole Miss had 3 interceptions in 2 series. Remember, Lester intercepted a Bo Wallace pass and then fumbled it. 2 plays later, Randall Mackey threw an interception, and at that point the game was basically out of reach. Ole Miss actually matches up well in this game too, where Alabama's weak isolation at the cornerbacks, Bo Wallace and the Ole Miss Rebels like to throw the ball. Conversely, putting pressure on Bo. This is a defensive line for Alabama that's struggled to get pressure on quarterbacks for the last couple of years. However, let's all step back away from the Kool-Aid now. This is still Alabama. You're still talking about playing inside Bryant-Denny, and Ole Miss brings with them a lot of underclassmen. They played there last year, but they also count on a lot of freshmen, and freshmen make mistakes. At home, Alabama can afford to make 1 mistake, even 2, and Ole Miss has to be perfect. The question is, has Ole Miss matured to the level that they can be perfect? Ole Miss under Hugh Freeze has improved greatly. We've been advocates of this program for a while now, but they're not yet at the point where they can go down into Tuscaloosa and be able to compete with that Tide team. As a result, even though I think they'll score more than they did last year they had 14. I think this year they end up somewhere about 21. You can't expect that Ole Miss defense is going to be able to hold back Alabama. I see Alabama with 31 points at home, winning 31-21.